Hello?
Getting rough when I stop believing I'm not tough enough to be free. I just go on with you. That's when we know. That's when we go. When it's just us hunting.
So this was my first year in Ohio. Mom and Dad always talk about all the deer they see, you know, so opportunities got to be better.
I guess we got to make room for Mom, eh, if she's coming. Packing 101.
Make sure there's room for passengers.
Make sure there's room for cameraman, or a woman in this case.
This year they decided to take Erica along, so once Erica gets involved on the trip, that's when I get a little bit bummed out. It was high time midterms though, so I really couldn't take any time off of school.
Ohio. Ohio.
We've been going to Ohio for a number of years now. It's a great holiday, really. There's a lot of deer there. We go down, we see the Ohio boys that we have a pretty good relationship with through a bear hunt that we go to up in Northern Ontario every year. So the girls have known these people since they were 5 and 6 years old. So it's always a good time. At the very least, it's an excellent vacation for us.
We're finally on our way. Started off with a couple little hiccups. We had a power outage just as we were leaving town, so we needed gas. Obviously can't get gas at home, so we made it to the next town. Power was out there, however the gas station had a generator running. We got the truck all filled up, truck's happy, we're on our way. Erica had some hot sauce in a small package in her purse. That blew up, so that's mishap number 2. They say things happen in threes. Hopefully not. We haven't made the border yet, and we don't want the third one to be there.
It seems every time we go through the border, we have an hour or 2 wait. So now we bring books and crocheting, and not that I'm much on crocheting. I'll give anything a try if the wait's long enough.
Don't know how long we're going to be here. Got a crossword puzzle I can do. Louise is knitting socks. Erica's crocheting a scarf or something. Keeping us busy, but doing nothing but making this trip a little longer. 2 hours at the border. We finally got through. We answered the 90 questions. Guess we answered them right. We're on our way. It's all downhill from here.
It's our first morning here and we're kind of taking it easy. We had the Ohio boys over last night, so we were visiting with them. Once we get everything together, we're gonna go out and put our tree stands up, get all set up, and then go out this afternoon.
The nice thing about Ohio is there's very seldom downtime where you don't see deer. They have so many deer there, and their bush is not like our bush. It's open and it's hilly and it's hardwoods, and you can see a couple hundred yards. Realistically, if you're not seeing a deer every half hour, that's a really bad day. And most of the times you're seeing quite a few more deer than that. They might not be close enough for a shot, but they're close enough to pique your interest, and time flies.
When I hunt around home, I don't really see that many deer, so it's hard to kind of see how they move and how they interact with their surroundings. So that was something that I took away from Ohio, just kind of watching the deer and seeing like how quiet they actually are through the bush and trying to pick out their silhouettes through the bush, you know. So I learned a lot even though I didn't shoot anything.
It is such a vastly different hunt than what we're used to, because we can go all season and see one deer literally and have to make it count. We go down there and we're seeing all kinds. We're seeing deer every time you go out.
So I'm just sitting in class like a good student, taking notes, and my phone's going off about all these deer they're seeing, but mostly about their crazy weather. They were having tornado warnings, and it would go from sunshine to rain, and then we had a tornado that summer, so they're telling me there's tornado warnings while they're hunting, so that's kind of freaking me out.
We just got a text from Kurt. Apparently there's a tornado watch on till 11 p.m. tonight. Great.
I've got my sister in Ottawa. She's keeping an eye on the internet to see if it changes into a warning, and she's gonna text, and I'm sure if it turns to a warning, Kurt will be out here on his gator to get us, but it's kind of a little bit of danger. As my friend Jim Shockey would say, it's not adventure unless there's a sense of danger, and let me tell you, Jimmy, there's a sense of danger today.
So the big thing about hunting is you go out and you have a huge expectation. It's quickly deflated because the expectation usually is nothing.
We don't always come back with a deer, but we see lots, and as far as I'm concerned, that's fantastic.
That's the thrill of the hunt. You hope you're gonna get something, but then sometimes, most of the time, it's nothing.
This segment brought to you by Lake Huron Chrysler. The tip of the week is brought to you by Vortex, the force of optics.
So here you are at the end of the day, you're done hunting, you're back at camp, back at your ATV, you want to unload your crossbow. Lots of new people getting into the crossbow hunting and maybe don't know this simple tip for unloading your crossbow, but we see lots of guys shooting arrows into the dirt and shooting them into the butt back at camp, and it's not great to walk around with a loaded crossbow. So what you do is you put your cocking gate on just like you were going to cock your crossbow, but you just hold on to the one pull cord rather than both. Put your bow on fire, and all you do is make sure your pawls are in the string, pull the trigger, and let it down one hand. Very simple, very easy to do, very safe, and no damage to any components. You aren't wrecking arrows. And I'm Carl Jones, and that's your Just Us Hunting Tip of the Week.
I actually have notoriously terrible luck in anything I hunt, anything, and deer especially. So I've been hunting deer for about 12 years, and I've come home with 0.
We've been hunting as a family unit, for an awful long time now. And we end up getting our own little traditions, and one of the traditions is going out on Christmas Eve. And a lot of people look at us kind of strange, like, come on, Christmas Eve and you're going out hunting? But when you really look at it, it's dark at 5 o'clock. So you can go out and you can do your hunt in the afternoon. You hunt till dark. You're home for supper. You're home for all the celebrations and everything else that you have to do on Christmas Eve. So that was one of our traditions. Erica and I always made a point of going out on Christmas Eve, and this one here proved to be pretty good. I set her up on a spot where, actually it was on John's property, and we had set a bait up for her because in the winter time, the deer tend to go off to yarding areas. So if you don't have anything to keep them into that area, those deer are gone, and it's all private land. So if the only land you have doesn't have deer on it, you're wasting your time. So I went out and I got Erica set up. We had the tree stand set up, the camera arm, everything she needed, and away she went.
It's Christmas Eve, and we haven't had as much snow as we normally like to have, but we've got a little bit on the ground. It's a dust, I would say, that's falling from the sky, lightly dusting, and it's tradition. So Dad's gone out to one place, I'm going out to another. A lot of people like to sit at home on Christmas Eve with family, but this is what Dad and I always do. We always go out Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So John said that there is a little bit of action here. He's been seeing some, that's good. So I've got to climb up that tree and hopefully get a Christmas deer.
So this was my first time filming myself and hunting alone. Normally when Dad and I go out on Christmas Eve, we're together, and he's normally filming me. But he wanted to hunt this hot spot, and I was gonna go hunt this other hotspot. I'd hunted this property before, but not this specific stand. So I remember getting ready, and there was just so much more on my mind to think about because I had to pack all the camera equipment. I had to worry about that end of things as well.
Last year there was so much snow at this time that I had to snowshoe into this bait. This year, I could pretty much drive the car right there. There's not a whole lot of snow. It's nice. Hopefully the deer are still moving though. That's a good sign.
So I walk to the stand and I climb up, and for the first like half hour, 40 minutes, you're kind of getting your bearings straight, right? You're looking at the trails, where all the deer are coming in. You know, you're trying to predict where the animal's gonna come from. But after about half an hour, 40 minutes of that, you pull out your cell phone and you start playing games and texting and Facebooking. And Dad is a terrible texter, so you can never rely on him for any entertainment when you're in the stand.
Just getting settled in now. I haven't hunted this part yet. I'm normally down in the other corner. But I saw some tracks coming in. Saw a cat. Looks like a good luck sign to me. Now all I have to do is wait.
I'm very like superstitious, so I brought some good luck charms with me, hoping that I could kind of tip the scale in my favor.
I'm bringing out all the stops tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's Christmas Eve, and I need to get a deer. It's been a little slow this year, so I thought tonight I would bust out all of my good luck charms. I have a crocheted toque from Corby's mom, my lighted earrings, and Mom sent me with a Christmas ornament for good luck. Hopefully, this is the perfect combinations of good luck charms to get me a deer.
So I had brought this arsenal, 3 being like the magic number on a magic day of Christmas Eve. So I was kind of hoping that I could tip the scales in my favor.
This segment brought to you by APA Bows. This one-time memory is brought to you by Lake Huron Chrysler, bringing the fun back into buying a vehicle.
I remember this one time we were on a moose hunt in northern Ontario with my good friends Dale LeGroux, Rick Barnier, and Wayne June. I was able to take 2 bull moose within the first week of hunting with a self bow that I made myself. It was a great hunt with good friends, and that's a hunt I will never forget.
So it's cold out, so I'm not hunting. And my mom and I stayed home and we're cooking lobster and shrimp, and we're making crab dip and little crab puffs and everything. And we've made an elaborate smorgasbord. We're just kind of naturally assuming that Erica and Dad will be home roughly after dark. And we're waiting for the phone call that they're on their way home, and dinner's getting a little bit cold.
It was just starting to get dark and nothing had happened. There was a beautiful Christmas snow, and that was about it. And I remember thinking about this seafood supper that we were gonna have, and I'm thinking about the crab legs, the lobster, the escargot, you know, the mussels. I'm thinking about all this stuff, and I'm like, oh man, maybe I'll just pack up early, call it a night. And I looked over my right shoulder, and there was 2 deer in the field. And I'm like, holy crap, where did they come from? So I'm like trying to get the camera on them, because I'm thinking, even if they don't come in, at least I'll film it, and you know, it wasn't a total waste of time. So I'm filming them, and they had walked into like a hedgerow that had separated the 2 fields behind me. And I made the rookie mistake of actually looking up from the camera to see them in real life. And then when I looked back at the camera, I couldn't find them anywhere. So I was like, oh, they must have like ran off, or they crossed the field, whatever. So I turned back around, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, I'll wait 5 minutes. They should be gone. And then I'll climb down and I'll leave. So I'm kind of waiting and waiting, and there's probably about like 10 or 15 minutes left of legal light. And I'm like, okay, that's it. I really want some seafood supper. So I just happened to look over my shoulder to double check, and this deer is walking in to the bait. I remember thinking like, okay, like make sure you film this. This is very important. Don't forget to film this. Your dad will kill you if you don't get this on camera. So I'm filming it. And I actually even said out loud like, oh, I only have a buck tag. This is obviously a doe. And it's coming in, it's coming in. And then all of a sudden I realized that there's hardware on this deer. Well, that's a TSN turning point, folks, because I have a buck tag. So I'm trying to get the camera positioned to where I'm predicting this deer is gonna go while grabbing my bow. In my head, I can hear Dad being like, the rule of thirds, don't zoom in too much. Don't be too jerky on the camera. Like I can hear him, and I'm trying to block him out. So finally I just kind of spun the camera onto the bait. This is obviously where this deer's going. Zoomed out, probably a little more than Dad would have liked. And I remember grabbing my bow. I don't remember how cold it was. I don't know if it was adrenaline or if my brain was just so focused on multitasking with the camera equipment and hunting. But I grabbed it and the deer hit the bait. And I just remember like knocking my release to my string, pulling back, and it was like slow motion. And I remember letting go and thinking I missed, as always. The deer took off. He ran about 20 yards, and I could see my nocturnal knock was bright red on the ground. And I remember sitting there thinking like, oh my gosh, I just screwed up. I missed. They're gonna have to shoot my hat when I go home. This is my mother-in-law's toque she had crocheted for me. And so I'm watching this deer and I'm having this miniature heart attack in the stand. Like, I can't believe I choked, that felt so good. And then the deer just dropped. It died 20 yards from me. And then I totally fell apart.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm so happy right now. Oh my God, I just shot my first friggin' deer. And he's right there. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Hello? I just shot a deer. I got it. Yeah, I got it. Oh my God, it ran like 30 yards. I can see it. Oh my God, I'm crying.
Closed captioning brought to you by The Archery Place. Vehicle graphics supplied by Artec. The Hunter Profile is brought to you by APA. We are not the same.
I've been hunting for 8 years. My weapon of choice is my APA Mamba X7. I like to hunt white-tailed deer, and I've successfully taken one doe so far. My dream hunt would be to go out west into BC and hunt mule deer. And the person that influenced me the most would be my grandfather. I'm Cody, and this is my profile.
I was crying. I wasn't quiet at all. I was cheering. I turned my Christmas lights on my earrings. I was calling people.
Oh my God. Oh my God, I think I need to change my pants. Oh my God, I'm crying. This is the best Christmas ever. I'm so excited. Okay, I'll send you a picture and stuff when I get down, okay? Okay, bye. Merry Christmas. This is my deer. That's mine.
I called my best friend Katie, who's a non-hunter, and she was crying on the phone, which was really neat because she doesn't hunt. You know, she doesn't understand that aspect of it.
Erica had finally shot her first deer. We were so elated, and then we realized we've just cooked all this food. Now here it sits.
Our seafood dinner went cold. We made ham and cheese sandwiches, and for Christmas Eve, we ate them all in the truck.
It was actually a great way to end the hunt because she had actually got her deer.
We put a lot of effort into our dinner, but it wasn't as much effort as Erica's put into her hunt, and ham and cheese tasted pretty good that night.
Not only did she shoot a deer this time, she got it on film, all by herself. She had no camera person with her. So the feat of doing that makes it exponentially harder. So I have to give her a pat in the back for that. She did fantastic.
His name's Doe-loris because I thought it was a girl when it came in, but it's not. He's my buck. And I've been crying all night. It is, it's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah.
This was my moment, and it kind of sucked that I was alone, but having this group of people that I could call and share it with, I didn't feel alone at all. Everybody was there, and everybody was really happy. I think a few holiday drinks were had that night.
Just Us Hunting would like to thank these great sponsors. Rescue 7, AEDs saves lives. Cold Fire Canada, our mission, everyone gets home safe. Dynablast, industrial hot and cold pressure washers. APA Bows, choose your venom. The Archery Place, offering you a wide range of archery products and services. Lake Huron Chrysler, bringing the fun back into buying a vehicle. Vortex Optics, the force of optics. Arctex Signs and Graphics, Howitzer Arrows, be the difference. The Bear Essentials, your wilderness experience guides.
If you have videos of your hunts and you'd like to see them on this show, go to our website, justushunting.com, and email us directly. Who knows, maybe you'll see your hunts right here on Just Us Hunting.
Starts getting rough, and I stop believing I'm not tough enough to